Hi dear Leos, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of November. Can you believe it's November already? We're almost done with 2023. I don't know where time has gone, but yeah, in just 2 months we're gonna be in 2024. Uh, so, uh, November, November is kind of boring. When I was writing the horoscopes for this month, I was like, wow, like not much is going on. But I guess that's good news, considering all the eclipses that we are having this month in October. So as I'm recording this, we're in the midst of the eclipse season, in between two eclipses. And so the energies are intense, it's hectic, like we're in the midst of like changes, restructuring, okay, of reality. So yeah, but November we will have time to recover, and thankfully, by the end of November, the dust from the eclipses should settle completely. We will be back to normal, or at least I could say like we will get used to the new normal, because eclipses always bring changes. At the very beginning of November, we have a series of oppositions. We have the Sun in Scorpio making an opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. And for you, Leos, that is your 4th house and 10th house. So your career, your work, your social status, and your home, family, the place you live at, those themes. Okay? And since we have Jupiter involved in this aspect, Jupiter is a benefic. Even when it's involved in a bad aspect, in a tense aspect, it still produces like good results. And this transit is very temporary. Like it's gonna be active for only a day or two. Next, on the same day, on November 3rd, Venus in Virgo will be making an opposition to Neptune in Pisces. Now, this aspect is delusional, like because Neptune is the planet of um, illusions and like fog, okay, nebulous, and Venus is love, as you know. So when you mix those two, you get uh, rose-tinted glasses. So that day, November 3rd, might feel romantic. If you go on a date, it might feel romantic, but please keep in mind that you are probably over-idealizing your partner on that day, because Venus opposition Neptune can do that. But thankfully, this opposition is very temporary, short-term. It's going to be active for only a day or two. Yeah, and so on November 4th, Mercury in Scorpio will be making an opposition to Uranus in Taurus on the 21st degree of those two signs. And now this aspect screams like, I don't know, sudden flashes of brilliance, I guess, because Mercury rules thoughts, communication. Uranus is like sudden surprises. So when you connect those two, you get like sudden flashes, like breakthroughs and like ideas, I guess, when you come to an understanding of something. And on the same day, on November 4th, Saturn will station direct in Pisces, on the 0th degree of Pisces. For you, Leos, Saturn rules your house of relationships and also your house of work. Okay, so if you experience delays, frustrations in those two areas of your life since June, things will start moving forward slowly but surely, okay, from November 4th. And Saturn is going to station direct on the 0th degree of Pisces, so this is very potent, because the 0th degree, the first degree, that's where like the energy of Pisces is like at its purest. So Saturn for you, Leos, this is your 8th house. So for the next 2 years, Saturn will be fixing things in your 8th house. So the way you share your resources, okay, the way you share your money with your partner, those things will go through like test, restructuring. Like think of it like this way: each, like the astrology houses, they're like branches, right, of a company. And so when Saturn visits a sign, visits a house, it's like an inspector coming from the headquarters, and so he'll be making sure that everyone is doing their job. Those who are not working properly, they're gonna be let go of, okay, they're going to be fired, and then those who are doing their job very well, they're going to be rewarded. So Saturn is like that. Saturn is strict but fair. So when he's in your 8th house, so he will be making sure that uh, you that people are sharing their resources fairly with you, or that you are sharing your resources fairly. mm, like 8th house is also the house of finances, right, like your partner's finances. So your partner uh, yeah, like you will have to make compromises with your partner, like update agreements, I guess, with your partner, the way you share your resources. Mm. However, like the eighth house is also the house of loans, like banks, right? So it might be frustrating to get like loans in the next 2 years. I'm not saying you're not going to get a loan. It's just there will be extra obstacles that you will have to overcome. Yeah, okay. I think I'm derailing. I don't know why I got into a lecture about Saturn. But anyway, so on November 5th, we have the last quarter moon in Leo. Now, this marks the beginning of a week where not much happens because we are between uh, lunations, like full moon and new moon. So, on November 5th, we are 1 week away from a new moon. So, don't waste energy trying to start anything new because it will require Herculean effort and it's not going to last too long. I would say wait until mid November to start new things. And so, after November 5th, make sure you recharge your batteries, like wrap things up from the previous, that started with the previous new moon. And it's a great time to get ready and prepare things for the upcoming new moon. And so, don't feel guilty if you don't feel like doing anything. It's like naturally the time to rest because the moon will becoming smaller and smaller day by day and disappear by the time of the new moon. And so, on November 8th, Venus is going to enter Libra. And for you, dear Leos, that is your, what is it? Leo, Venus enters Libra. Third house, yeah. I was going to say 11th house, but like my mind was calculating. That's why I got lost a little bit in my thoughts. Third house, so communication will be more pleasant. Venus, as you know, it's a very pleasant, charming planet. And third house is communication. So your relationship with your siblings, with your neighbors will be pleasant. Short-term travels will be pleasant. You might travel to a beautiful place starting from November 8th until like early December. Yeah, and then what else? On November 10th, Mercury is going to enter Sagittarius, your fifth house. Yeah. So, but normally Mercury springs through signs. It spends like 18 days in each sign. So, in your fifth house, yeah, starting from November 10th, you might be more flirtatious with your partners. But the thing is, on November 10th, as soon as Mercury enters Sagittarius, it's going to make a square to Saturn in Pisces. So communication might be frustrating on that day. But again, since Mercury is fast moving, it's short term. Okay, it's active for only a day or two. And then November 11th, Mars is going to make an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. And Leos, Mars is in your fourth house. Fourth house is the house of home, family. And Uranus is in your 10th house. So Mars in your fourth house. Mars is the god of war. It's an aggressive planet. Yes, it's an energizing planet. It has lots of energy. It's very athletic, but when it's in the fourth house, it can uh, make you more, I don't know, argumentative with your family, I guess. You might be more irritable than usual with your family at home or with your roommates if you share your house with your roommates. Yeah, so Mars can do that in the fourth house. So on that day, on November 11th, when it makes an opposition to Uranus in Taurus, that's like double indication of irritation. Okay, because Uranus is sudden, and Mars is like impulsive action. So sudden irritation. But again, it's short term. It's not something that's gonna last for weeks. No, it's gonna be active for like 3 days maximum. So nothing to worry about. But as you can see, in November there is this lots of activity going on between your fourth house and 10th house. So your work and family, like lots of aspects going on between those two houses. So those two themes will be prominent for you in November, dear Leos. And in the middle of November, we have a new moon in Scorpio, okay, on the 20th degree of Scorpio. And so this new moon is going to happen in your fourth house. And new moons are news, obviously. So if you're expecting news and decisions, announcements, you can expect it around this date, 4 days plus or minus around November 13th. And so this new moon is gonna happen in your fourth house. So some Leos, you might move around this date, or you might get a new roommate, or some Leos who are married and have a stable home, then you might buy something new for your house. Okay, or maybe there will be some news in your parents' life, because fourth house, it's parents. It rules one of your parents. Traditionally, it ruled your mother, so there might be some news regarding your mother. Yeah, and another interesting thing about this new moon is that it's the first new moon after the solar eclipse in Libra. So the events associated with that solar eclipse might play out around this new moon. Okay, so if you feel like, oh, nothing happened to me during those eclipses in October, well, it's probably because it's about to happen to you in November. Okay, and another thing is this new moon is going to be making an opposition to Uranus in Taurus again. So as you can see, work, family, those two themes are very active for you guys, Leos. And so there might be some element of unexpectedness around this new moon. So you might have to unexpectedly move to a new house, new apartment. I mean, for those, or there might be sudden something in your house that was gonna require an attention, like something like that. It's not something bad. Don't worry though. Next, on November. Oh, I forgot to mention, on November 18th, the Sun in Scorpio is going to be making a conjunction with Mars. This is important because Mars rules Scorpio, and when we have a conjunction, which doesn't happen very often, by the way, Mars and Sun are conjunct once every year and a half. So this conjunction is important. It marks the beginning of a new cycle. New moons happen when the sun is in front of the sun, when the moon passes in front of the sun, right? Well, Mars and sun conjunction is the same. Like, so it's like a new moon, but for Mars, new Mars. So new cycle for Mars. And for you, Leo, so this is happening in your fourth house. So some new cycle in your home matters. Okay, some new cycle. It will be very subtle, very subtle. This is not something that's going to be very obvious, but if you pay attention, you might notice a new cycle is going to begin from November 18th. And then, after this, on November 22nd, the sun is going to enter Sagittarius. So, Leos, that means the sun is going to leave your fourth house and enter your fifth house. So, Sun in Scorpio energy is very heavy, very deep, intense, but the Sun in Sagittarius is very lighthearted in comparison. Uh, so, towards the end of November, you're gonna be a lot more optimistic. Okay, so the Sun is gonna enter Sagittarius first, and then Mars is gonna join the Sun in Sagittarius. So as you can see, the planets start crowding your fifth house. So all the home life focus, family life focus is gonna start shifting towards romance, children, fun, leisure, hobbies. Okay, and then uh, and on November 27th, we have a full moon in Gemini, on the 4th degree of Gemini. And for you, Leos, that is your 11th house. So the moon will be illuminating your 11th house. It's the house of friendships, long-term goals and hopes and wishes. Okay, and the sun will be in your 5th house of romance, fun, leisure, children. So those two themes will be in opposition. Full moons are the times of culmination, illumination. So it might be that you your wish comes true. Like it might be that because this is the first full moon after the lunar eclipse in Taurus in October. And again, the events associated with that lunar eclipse might play out around this full moon. Yeah, so your wish might come true around this time for some, or for others it might be that your friend will be experiencing some major milestone, because full moon is like culmination, right? And so and it's in the house of friendship, so some important event in your friend's life around this time, around the end of November probably. Yeah, and so This is it for November, dear Leos. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. Okay. November, as I mentioned in the very beginning, it is quite boring. There aren't many things going on, and I guess that's good. So by the end of November, we should be back to normal. So if you feel like your routine was affected or turned upside down during the eclipses, rest assured that by the end of November, you will feel sane again. Okay. And so, yeah, uh, I wanted to mention that I offer readings, astrology readings, like birth chart analysis, astrocartography, um, transits, compatibility readings. So if you are interested, please email me or leave a comment. I would like to apologize for those who emailed me in October, because it took me forever to get back to you guys. I know it must have been frustrating and annoying. I myself, I hate waiting. So when I make other people wait, I feel really bad. But the thing is, I lost someone who was like a family member to me in October. So I was grieving that. So yeah, in November I should be able to get back to you guys in time. Okay. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my December videos.